Okay. I'm hoping that it's speaker view. Is this what's happening? Does everyone see my face? I don't know if everyone sees my face or not. Okay. All right. We have an amazing special guest streaming of Diamond. I cannot wait. Certified holistic health coach, my absolute soul sister bestie, my Plexus bestie. She is a senior Ruby ambassador in Plexus and Diamond bound. We'll just say that. I can't wait to have her just pour into you all the information and all the beautiful knowledge that she has in that big brain that she's going to share with us. So without further ado, Gillian, love you.
Thank you. Thank you for that nice introduction. Hello, friends. I know so many of you. I'm thrilled to be on your team call tonight and super, super excited to be talking about literally my new favorite product. Aren't we lucky? It's 8 products in one, so I don't have to pick a favorite. So before I talk about Reset, I want to tell you a little bit of my story and what I've been doing for the past 6+ years in my health coaching practice. I have my husband just walked by, he's winding it up. He's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I have been teaching fasting for almost 7 years. So you have to understand, and I'm sure, I know y'all were very excited at convention, but I was having like an emotional experience, like floating above my body, trying to process, what does this mean? How does it compare to what I do? I was texting Sadie immediately, like, is it clean? Is it clean? Please, God, tell me it's clean. That was, so long story short, it's everything I could have ever dreamt of in a magical unicorn fantasy. Like it's beyond what I was doing with my clients for almost 7 years. And what I like to tell people is that it's better. It's better. It's better than what I was doing. And I think that's really incredible. So I was immediately bought in, like as soon as I printed out like that 8-page document, the everything reset document. If you've never printed that out and you're kind of a nerd when it comes to this stuff, print it out, highlight it, read it once a week, and just keep that information fresh. Not everyone needs to know it, but you need to have that level of belief in you to know how superior this reset is. So I've been teaching people how to fast for many years, several different ways of fasting, because not the same way works for every single person. And the other really cool thing is that everything I've ever sold, okay, because I like to sell, selling is good. Selling is what makes the world go round. We buy and we sell. So everything I've ever sold, everything I've ever helped people put together with their supplements, with their plexus, with other things, with fasting, bone broth programs. Some of you might have done them with me before. This is the only thing I have ever shared that has worked for every single person. I mean, can you even say that anything you've ever shared with someone worked for every person? Nope. Even though everything we sell is incredible, sometimes there's just more going on behind the scenes in the body that we don't anticipate and we can't know. And the user doesn't know either, and their doctor doesn't know either. So Reset is the first product I've ever shared that has worked for everyone. So far this month, I've had more than 30 people reset. Okay, so far in July. So everyone has lost the pounds, lost the inches. Some are little, some are big, but everyone feels the same incredible feeling that is universal, regardless of the weight, the inches, how the genes fit. That's all complementary to the cellular detox. That's not the purpose, but it's a complement to the cellular detox. So the big emphasis is how people feel coming out. So, okay, so that's kind of the background of where I'm at. So then I zoom on back to a convention. I'm just making sure my notes are open because I don't want to miss anything, because I get too excited and then I start talking about other things. But so here we are back at convention. They put it up on the screen. They say the words. And I was like, it can't be. They couldn't have done this. They couldn't have put everything together in one box that takes people so much time. Like when I'm putting a program together with people, it takes so much time because I don't collect it for them. They have to go shop, they have to go buy, they have to go create, they have to go make, they have to accumulate the supplements, they have to go buy this and go buy that. This has things that I've never even seen before. Like, look at that Restore drink, right? Nothing I was helping people create, prepare, purchase, procure was anything like Restore, ever. Never seen anything like it. So hopefully if you've already done your reset, you know what that feeling is with Restore, because there's the pixie dust right there. So so there we were. So immediately, like day one, I was like calling people on my phone from convention. This is what you've been waiting for. I don't know about you, but I've heard many people say that they wish they could start over. I wish I could feel that new feeling again. I remember when I first started Plexus, like I've been at this for a long time. So we have lots of very open conversations with people who've done Plexus. You know, I've had people who've come back 2 or 3 times over the years. You know, they don't really stay, but you know, they try. New product comes out, they try. And lots of people have said to me, I wish I could start over. I wish I could get that new back, you know, and that excitement and that motivation and that ability and that drive. You know, it's mostly that internal work that they want back, but they were motivated by how they felt when they started Plexus. When that first day their brain fog dissipated, you know. So even John, my husband, who is the reason why I'm in Plexus, is he was at the time, he was like, well, it'd be so cool to just like start over. And it was a positive statement. And I was like, it would. So why don't we just start over? Let's pretend we're new. And then Reset came out. And it was like literally like such a God lightning bolt for so many people struggling in their health journey, so many people praying for a solution, breaking through really difficult hormonal weight that is like, I have sat and cried with my clients before that are just, you know, that hormonal stuck weight is so heavy. Emotionally, it is so heavy. So now let's get back into a little bit of health coaching. So what is one of, you know, I'm not going to make you guess, but one of the top killers in our nation, some people don't really know, but I'm just going to say it's cardiovascular disease. And cardiovascular disease, 2/3 of the people who die of cardiovascular disease, it is driven by insulin resistance. So therefore, now you already know we're in the right place, like we have been all along. We've always been in the right place with Plexus because this insulin resistant is one of the leading drivers of death in our country. Not insulin resistance in and of itself, but what insulin resistance leads to. Like think about driving a car and the RPM, you're in the red all the time. Like we know that's bad for car. So we should not be in the red. Insulin resistance, diabetes, that is, you're in the red all the time. Organs in the red. So guess what? Cars break down when they're in the red more. They don't last as long. You don't get as many miles out of them, no matter what the dealer said. So in our bodies, we're the same way. When we're in the red for decades, we have a shorter lifespan. That is just the fact. So that is why no matter what has happened in my life and in the company and in my health coaching and in Plexus, the drive to serve and help people learn that insulin resistance is the key to battling that insulin resistance is the key to longevity and better health and reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease and all the inflammatory diseases, which all begin in the gut. So here we are again, all in the right place. So insulin resistance, and again, a lot of what I'm sharing, I know no one's going to share this video, but a lot of it is non-compliant because we're just talking about lots of diseases. But insulin resistance is what causes prediabetes, diabetes. But did you know it also is a major factor in stroke and heart attack, Alzheimer's, dementia? I mean, type 3 diabetes is that diabetes of the brain. It is that Alzheimer's. That's not a nickname anymore. It's what they call it. But sadly, most of these diseases are driven by lifestyle choices. And that's really hard news to deliver. I don't recommend telling people unless they really, really want to hear the truth. It depends on what kind of health coaching does someone want to hear. I tell my people because they pay me to tell them the truth. But I think it's important to know that the mission we're on is bigger than points. Okay, so here's where I'll get emotional. Okay, this is so much freaking bigger than points and rank and paychecks and BBBs. Like, nothing pushes me harder than knowing someone is no longer in the red, that the RPM is no longer pushed into the red. So that's what gives me my joy. And also being able to tell people with love that their lifestyle is slowly killing them. It's kind of like candida overgrowth. It's decomposing you from the inside out. Like we have to know these things, and we have to be able to deliver it in a way that's love, with love, unless you're being paid to say it, then you can just say it. Okay. So, so the other question I get a lot, so I've got a lot of things. I'm going to run through just some tips because I can't talk about reset without doing a little bit of health coaching. So getting in front of your blood sugar and your insulin response, and getting your plate in order, your daily plate. Every time you eat, it needs some level of organization, forethought, planning. It cannot be an afterthought. You cannot be an afterthought in your own life. You're the star of your own show, and you need to figure out how to prioritize yourself in the chaos of the storms of life, and no matter what is going on. So what to eat, mostly food that is not in a package, foods that don't have labels. Okay, so the majority of our diet should not have a barcode. And, I know produce has barcodes now. I just did that. I'm like, why do I have to scan my sweet potato? They put stickers on them now. But, my joke is still the same. Mostly food that doesn't come in a box. In a package, you have to rip it off and has a resealable bag. Okay, so we're talking about whole foods, safe meat that's been raised properly, seafood, and all that good stuff. So when to eat, naturally, fasting has been part of our evolution since the beginning of time, because the beginning of man, because food was not always available on every single corner and every single event. There was feast, there was famine. Part of the reason why we do gain weight so easily, because the body thinks you're going to have a shortage. So when you overconsume, the body's like, okay, it's time to feast. We need to pack this weight on because she's going to starve us again next month. And I need to make sure I've got lots of glucose and glycogen saved up in my muscles, so I'm ready for the next time I have to run from the tiger. So naturally, fasting has always been part of the human experience. It's just nobody was calling it that. It was just existing. It wasn't called fasting. Okay, so it is not beneficial to us to consume food and raise our glucose every 2 to 3 hours. It is harmful. And there's a lot of information out there about 3 meals and 2 snacks. It is not in line with our evolution. That's not the way humans evolved. It's not the way our bodies are meant to function. So fasting is like that beneficial stress. It's kind of like exercise. Remember, this is 200 years ago. People didn't want to exercise because they thought it was harmful. Okay, dangerous. Why would you do that? It's harmful, right? So that took decades upon decades, hundreds of years for people to understand that physical exercise is good. So fasting is the same way. It's that beneficial stress. It's that safe, small amount of stress that helps the body realign, to clean up, to go into autophagy, to get rid of dead and dying cells, to eliminate precancerous cells, to do all those things that promote longevity that used to happen naturally because we weren't eating all the time. But now we eat all day long into the night, and our body is just like, what the heck? What am I supposed to do with all of this, right? So it starts storing it all up in your liver. It starts socking it, sends it back out into the bloodstream. Liver gets full, back out into the bloodstream. What does the bloodstream do? What am I supposed to do with this? Stuff it into a fat cell, right? So there is only so much that the body can take in. The muscles only need so much glycogen to hold on to for that next time you're going to run from the tiger. So knowing that every time you eat, you're going to spike your glucose. Pancreas has to respond, send out insulin to try to get the glucose into the cells for you. But when you've had too much, then what? Now we think of insulin as the fat storage hormone. So now every time you get that glucose up, insulin comes in, and now insulin is telling the body to store fat because you're over consuming. And this isn't about calories in, calories out. Like, that is not my language. Okay. This is about the quality of what you're eating, but are we over consuming? So it's really easy to over consume industrial foods. And when I say industrial, I mean everything that came from a factory, anything that's in a package. Like, we don't like to think about our food being on a conveyor belt, you know, in a factory, but that's where it's coming from. So we got to be real. Industrialized food is the main driver of glucose and insulin. Okay. Natural foods don't do that. You know, when you eat protein, fat, and plant-based carbs, we don't get the crazy, you know, highs and lows. So why is Reset so awesome? Well, first of all, it's safe for 99% of the population, just like we've always said with Plexus, right? When people are like, who's it for? Who's it safe for? Most people, almost everybody, almost everybody. And even the people who don't want to lose weight, we can modify. Okay. If you ever want to talk about that, send me a message. We'll talk about it. But I've had people who can't lose weight. Like my 20-year-old, she doesn't need to lose weight. She's like a semi-pro dancer. Her body is perfect, but she has gut issues from living up at college. So we can modify that. But Reset is for the majority of the population, because now we're at like 75% of the American population is metabolically dysfunctional. They're in danger. They're shortening their lifespan because of the foods that we eat. Okay. So that's kind of the wake-up call. So Reset should be a major part of our business, regardless of your relationship with Reset, right? Maybe you love Reset, you want to do it every month, you know, this, that, and the other. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't get it, or you don't want to reset frequently. It should still be a major part of your business, just like Triplex Combo. Okay, Triplex Combo is a big part of our business because gut health, and everybody needs gut health. Everyone has a gut, so everyone needs to have good gut health. Reset. Everyone has a metabolism. Almost 80% of people are dysfunctional. Did you know it takes 10 years of dysfunction to become diagnosed with prediabetes? So by the time someone is feeling the kind of wonkiness after eating, your body's been tinkering around with this shit for 10 years. So we're not just talking about the 80%, almost 80% that are already messed up in their metabolism. By the way, I've been one of them in the past. So I'm not saying them over there. Okay, I've been there too, digging my way out now. We're talking about people that are coming down the pike as well, because now children are being diagnosed with fatty liver disease. Teenagers are pre-diabetic. We all have it in our lives. We see it. So this is not new, but the Reset box hits everyone in that little sweet spot. So regardless if they want to lose weight or not, that is beside the point. Like, I'm looking at Sadie. Sadie doesn't need to lose weight. You know, Sadie's trying to build muscle, be strong, have that cardiovascular fitness, feel like a general badass every time she wakes up. So I look at all my clients that way. I never assume they want to lose weight. I never assume weight loss. Okay. No matter who's looking at me, I'm like, okay, tell me what your goals are. What's your top 3, and put them in order. Okay. And then I explain to them why Reset works for them. And guess what? It always does. Because if someone's not a little heavy, they are tired. They don't have energy. They have bad cravings. They're skinny fat. So they still have that visceral fat in their belly, even though they're thin. I was skinny fat for decades. You know, I thought that was, you know, I was raised in the 80s. I thought that's how I was supposed to be. So the Reset is absolutely shockingly perfect for this time in the world, in our country, because I'm thinking of the United States primarily, in our country, because I don't know the stats for everyone else. This is the solution. This is the solution. So quick thought, someone who doesn't want to lose weight, I just have to mention that because there's a lot of fit people on my team too. And they're like, how do I participate in this? Like, I don't want to do it. I don't need it, and I don't want to do it, and I'm not comfortable sharing it. Okay. So with those people, we add a shake. We add a scrambled egg. We add more almonds. You know, we adjust, because I've had curvy girls come to me and say, I need to lose a little weight, but I don't want to lose my hips. I like my butt, you know, all those good things. So we add a little avocado. You know, we keep the good things while we're working on the visceral fat. Okay. Visceral fat is not on our butt, by the way. So if you have a curvy butt, I hope you get to keep it. Mine has not gone. I like my butt. I don't want it to go anywhere. There's no visceral fat there. Okay. So in general, I think y'all know this. So I'm just going to, I know Sadie has taught y'all so much, but I just like to point out to people that it's really important to explain to your potentials, your family members, or whoever's asking you about reset, that it's not a true fast. So they don't have to feel like they're not eating. It's the technical term is fasting mimicry. So it's low enough in the calories to mimic fasting benefits in the body. So fasting mimicry is just a fancy way of saying you're not going to starve because you have so much protein. And by the way, speaking of protein, this has so much more protein than the fast I was teaching before. I just like, and we had no fiber at all in the fast I was teaching before reset. Okay. Like just as recently as this spring, I was still teaching that, and it's good. It's good. But nobody came out of 3 days losing 6 pounds or, in excess of that. So the protein in there, if you think about 68 grams of protein, you could probably count on your hand how many people in your life are consuming that amount of protein every day. Most people are coming off of a semi fast food diet, semi standard American diet. They're heavy carbs. They don't even know that it converts to glucose. They don't understand that sugar effect of their carbs. They're not getting enough protein. So they're coming into reset with a protein deficit. And now they're walking away with 68 grams of protein a day and 17 grams of fiber. And most people are not even at those macros in their daily life because of the poor food choices that they're making. So anyone who's concerned about starvation mode or that it's a crash diet, you just have to look at the macros. I mean, if that's what they're into, some people are into it and some people are not. But when you tell people, ask them first how much protein they consume a day, like grams, it's not 68 grams, especially women. They're just not. We need it, but we're not doing it. Okay, so the main benefits of true fasting or fasting mimicry is longevity. Okay, your hormones realign because your gut has a chance to clean out. Your immune system has time to light back up again properly. And therefore your hormones, which are inextricably tied to your blood sugar, your lymphatic system, your immune system, here's your hormones. Oh, there's your digestion. Like it's all in one hand. They cannot be separated. You can't separate your hormones from your immune system. Can't separate your immune system from your gut. Can't separate your bowel movements from your gut. It's all connected. So the main benefit is that longevity is the body creating that proper cellular communication. Okay. The true definition of health is good cellular communication. And that's just a fancy way of saying that your body is working the way it was designed, that it's not misfiring, that it's not malfunctioning. And my biggest excitement with reset is that it's kind of like Wizard of Oz. It's pulling back the curtain so that people can see, finally lifting the hood of the car. They can see the engine while it's running. And reset is pointing out the parts like here, this does this, this does this. If you put cheap gas in, this is going to happen. When you put good additives in, this is going to happen. So you go from Toyota Corolla, not hating, it's just, I just chose it out of the sky, to Lamborghini status. And so you have to fuel your body with that supreme extreme, whatever the highest level gasoline is. So you come out of reset now running like a Lamborghini. And though you might fall back into some of your same habits, now you know how to get, I keep looking at my reset box because I just started again today. I'm on day 1. This is me on day 1. I'm just so excited. I can feel my brain cleaning. I can feel my body cleaning. So longevity, coming out with less brain fog, fewer cravings. Here's my favorite non-compliant benefit, but you have to promise not to repeat it to anyone except each other. And it's autophagy. It's that self-eating. So remember that plexus graphic that used to float around and it was like an aquarium and it was dirty and you couldn't see the fish anymore. And so what that is in reference to is your cellular matrix, the fluid that your cells are suspended in, right? Cells aren't sitting in a dry environment. they're suspended in liquid, okay, molecular liquid, but it gets sludgy. When the cellular matrix becomes sludgy, cells cannot communicate. Like, just imagine, look at the aquarium analogy. When the fish can't see where his home is and he goes to sleep at night, is he going to be knowing what to do and where to go and what's going to happen? Can he find his food that you've dropped in the top of the bowl? So when our cellular matrix is sludgy, and that is the right term, we can't think as fast. Our body cannot move as fast. We cannot digest properly. We will have brain fog. We will have inflammation. We will have precancerous cells floating around in our body. Because remember, cancer is not something we catch. We make it. Our cells turn cancerous. So it's not something we don't spray it on us. We don't catch it from our perfume. We build it. Okay. And remember that every time you eat, you're feeding a disease or you're healing. Every time you eat, the molecular information of your food washes over your DNA, giving explicit instructions on how to behave. Okay. So our body is constantly, our immune system is constantly reading the name tags on all the food we eat. Like, let's say every time you eat, every molecule has a name tag, and your immune system is reading all the name tags. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Oh, I remember you. I've seen you before. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Wait, who are you? Oh, I remember last time I saw you, it was horrible. So we're going to freak out right now. Okay. And then when you've got that gut permeability, that's when the bloodstream gets involved, and that's when the histamine reactions, so that's the second part of that. So we're trying to heal the gut lining so that crap is not escaping. So your food is not floating around in your bloodstream, so to speak. Not your food, but we're talking molecular level. So if our country, can you imagine if our whole country was fasting regularly? I like to imagine the cancer rate like becoming something of yesterday, right? We're constantly eating, constantly feeding ourselves when we need to be doing other things, constantly trying to fill the hole, the void, the emotion, all the things. I've done it too. So y'all, I'm here. This is me. I've done it as well. If we could teach the world to fast safely in a doable way, a way that is doable, safe, easy. Don't even tell me it's expensive. Okay, I just can't. I can't. So I can't talk about that tonight. Okay, another time we can have a talk. This thing should cost $300. It should. And many cleanses cost more and are harder and less nutrition. So if your only goal was to help people live an extra 10 years, girl, wear the jeans you want to wear. I don't care if you're in your 8s, your 6s, your 12s. Wear those jeans, whichever you're trying to get into, just enjoy the hell out of them. But my goal is for you to live longer, see your family more years than you would have living this crappy lifestyle that we just lack the education. We've been misled for decades. So other conversation for another time. So it is no one's fault that they're metabolically disordered. It is not your fault that you're hooked on food, that you're addicted to Chips Ahoy. It is not your fault. Okay. We're in this place because of the industrialized food movement, getting out of, moving away from agriculture farming into this industrialized food movement is poison. And reset is the answer. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Reset is the answer, but then what do you do after? You've got to live that life after those first few days. You should stay in fat burning. So let's talk about that real quick. So those first few days, you coming out of there, you're like the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini does not know it's off the racetrack. So let's say reset is the racetrack, right? We're resetting the metabolism. We're revving the engine. The pit crew has gotten us started. Every once in a while we stop, we take our next product. We have our shake, or we have our little matcha bar, that's our pit crew. We're going around the racetrack, going. This car goes freaking faster and faster by the end of the reset. So I want you to think about that engine is revving, but not in the red, prepared now. Revving, faster. burning properly. So when you come out of that, those first few days, I mean, that's like the golden hour. Those first few days, you are still in reset, but people don't know that. And then they go to Chick-fil-A. And I'm not picking on Chick-fil-A. My kids love Chick-fil-A, but they go to Chick-fil-A and then they stop the reset. Okay. They eat processed carbs, or they go have a dessert, or it doesn't mean you're never going to have that again. But by golly, that first week, you just spent $150 on this thing. That first week, you better be treating your body like the Lamborghini that it is. So that's my big advice, to extend the benefits of your reset as long as possible. And you will keep going. Like, what did I don't know. I lost, nearly 6 pounds. I called it 6 pounds. But then I kept losing weight. Okay. I wasn't hungry. I came at a reset and I was not hungry. Every other bone broth fast I've ever done, I've come out starving, just being totally honest, starving, ready to eat food. Came out of this and I was like, I know I need to eat, so I will, because I'm going to take care of my body so I'm not dysfunctional, but I'm not like super hungry. So now I have the time to think about making like a really good choice. Like, imagine when your cravings are down and your ghrelin is down, the hormone that makes your stomach growl, the one that tells you you're hungry. When your ghrelin is down, then you can make good choices. So I don't know about you, but I woke up on day 4 and I was like, I'm not hungry, but I know I need to eat. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to stop skipping breakfast and I'm going to make eggs and have vegetables. And I was full. By lunchtime, it was like 1. I was like, I'm not hungry, but I know I need to do something. I had a shake. By dinner, I was like, okay, I'm hungry. Okay, eat a balanced meal. So for the next 3 days after reset, I kept losing weight. Holla. That was like free weight loss to me. I was like, woo, that was free. Those pounds were free. Okay. Because like, I know I'm cute. Y'all are cute too. Okay. We're all cute. I know I'm cute, but my doctor told me I need to lose weight. Okay. Because my BMI and my labs are getting out of hand. So nobody understands what's going on under my clothes, right? You just see what you see. I know how to dress. Okay. And I know how to dress for my figure. So don't let anybody tell you, you don't need to do that. That's not safe. You don't need to lose weight. You don't need to whatever. It's like, okay, that's a conversation that needs to be held privately with their medical person, not on social media. I delete those. You get anybody who says you don't need to lose weight, delete, just get rid of them. That's not safe. Delete. You don't talk to them. Delete. Okay. The comment is gone. Bye. Okay. Don't let that poison near your post, because it affects other people and you don't have to respond to it. You can send a private message. Thanks for helping me with my business. Like, you just tell them you're wrong. Don't put that on my page. Go put it on your page. Okay, so back to reset. I know we could do lots of conversations here about lots of different things, but the main advice I've been giving my team with reset is what to do after. Because if you are a food addict, and lots of people are, or you just use your food inappropriately, and we know when we do that. When you use your food to feel differently, we're using our food inappropriately. So it doesn't mean that you're a food addict. It just means you're abusing your food. And it's okay if you decide, I just can't eat pasta anymore. I just can't. I don't want to. Don't let people push it on you. If you have a trigger food that sends you over the blood glucose, the insulin cliff, remember, cocaine addicts don't just have a little cocaine, right? They know they can't have any. So if you have a problem with pasta, like I do, it makes me tired. First of all, I want to nap, and then I'm hungry in 2 hours. So that's how I know it's wrong for me. There's no amount of Plexus that fixes that. It's just wrong for me. Okay. Because it's too processed. So we have to really fight for our health, for ourself in the days after reset. And I tell my friends, if they've never fasted before, prepare to struggle. Like, you're going to do amazing, but prepare your mind that there's going to be a battle. And it might be in your mind, it might be in your body, it might be a little bit of both. If they don't, they're pleasantly surprised. Like, one of my nurse friends, she's a nurse practitioner on my team, has never fasted. I was like, what? You never fasted? And she was scared to do it. She was like, I'm scared. I know I should know this. I know you've been telling me this for years, but I'm scared. And you know what? She did amazing. She wasn't hungry. She lost a little bit of weight, whole bunch of inches, okay, which is what she cared about. She doesn't care about the scale. No one sees our scale, right? It doesn't matter what it says. It's about how you feel in your skin. So those days after, those weeks after, that's where the magic really happens, because that's where the reset, that's where you take over. The box goes from here to here. Okay. So you no longer have to carry it around and caress it as your savior, because now the reset is here. It's in here. It's in your body, and you're ready to live that way. Now, let's say someone gains a little bit of weight back. Sadie, you didn't give me a time frame, so I'm just going to cover one more thing and then we can have questions. Let's say people, like I like to talk about kind of trigger topics. Okay. Trigger topics. We gain weight back. It's okay. You know what? It's okay, because you dropped your calories dramatically and your body responds with a little bounce back. It's okay. Especially if they're one of those people who lost like 9 pounds. Like my husband lost like over 9 pounds, and he gained 2 or 3 pounds back in the next week. And he was like, oh my God, I ruined it. Don't tell anybody. He didn't say that. He doesn't talk like that. But I could imagine people feeling this way. I ruined it. I gained the weight back. I gained half of it back or some of it back. Y'all, listen, your body has to adjust. It needs more than one reset. One reset will not be enough for the majority of people. As a health coach, I recommend quarterly fasting. Unless you're trying to lose weight, you need a monthly fast. That's just what it is. And by the way, what does Plexus recommend? A fast every 90 days is quarterly. Okay, because that's the secret sauce, that you never really get off track because you're always going back to your fast. And you're always fine tuning. You get better at it the more you fast. The more times you attempt fasting, the stronger you get. Okay. So we have to get out of our heads, sort of that scarcity mindset of, I have failed before, so I'm afraid to fail again. But every time you open this box, it's a whole new journey. Okay. And then in between, that box goes from the box to here, and you're ready to live it. Okay. And it does not mean you never travel, have dessert or cocktail ever again, but now you know what to do. So what would you do? Let's say you have a night of celebration. Someone on the team goes diamond. Y'all throw it down like nothing, like no party has ever been thrown down before. What do you do the next day? I don't know. Maybe you get some bone broth on board. Maybe you have a shake. Maybe you drink a hydrate. Maybe you have a light meal, maybe a soup. Okay. So reset is going to teach our community how to behave and stop relying on supplements to fix everything. Sorry, that's a very unpopular thing to say in a supplement company, but I'm a health coach. So, there's no amount of exercise to outrun a cupcake, right? And there's no amount of supplements to outrun a poor lifestyle diet. So we have to be able to transfer it from the box to our person. And then one last thing, I just have it in my notes because I have to mention it because I never know who's here. And I'm one of these people too. If anyone in your midst or is you or someone that you deal with has a history of eating disorder, body dysmorphia, anything in that category, we always just want to be really careful with them. They're going to have different triggers. They're going to have emotional trauma with food. Food is family, food is mother, original food is mother. So there's just lots of emotion with our food. So no one here needs to health coach their clients. Everyone needs to take care of their own body and their history. But if you ever feel like you're seeing a little bit of something pop up, I just ask people, have you ever talked to anyone about that? Have you worked on your healing in this area? It's not my specialty. I refer out for that. I mean, I can help with a lot of things, but that's not my specialty. Don't have that kind of training. So I just think when we're dealing with fasting for people who have a history of disordered eating, they don't even have to be diagnosed. Okay. Disordered eating is a big category of people. This can be a great catalyst for healing, because you're only consuming things that nourish your body and you've removed everything that's harmful. So that can be a really healing process for people to realize you can use your food for good instead of to harm your body or withholding to harm your body, etc. Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna look at my notes while you think of whatever you want to tell me next. What time is it? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this right now. Can we even with this person? Can we even right now with this person? I'm going to stop recording because I always want people